Crysta is overpowered. Christa needs some nerfs. At the same time, every single one of you is letting Christa get away with way too much, and it's absolutely illegal. This includes high elo players, by the way. So today, I'm going to show you exactly why I never lose to a Christa, what Christa's game plan is, and how you can counter it so you stop getting infuriated by her. If you like this kind of content, make sure to subscribe, and let's get to it. I can't tell you how to counter Christa without explaining the basics of her kits. Every time she lands a spell, she gets reverberation stacks on an enemy. Now, this is what's allowing her to dash around so much. That should be pretty simple. This means things like R&B can give 2 stacks because it goes forward and backward, meaning I can get 2 shift resets off of it. 2 gives 1 stack and is pretty easy to hit, and then obviously the ultimate gives 30,000 and you can dash around during it. So what this means is if you dodge her skills, she doesn't get her stack. So I'm going to teach you exactly how to dodge those skills extremely easily. For R&B, this thing is pretty telegraphed. By the time it actually comes out, you have about 1.5 seconds to actually react to it. Now, obviously, Christas pair their abilities together to be able to land them. The most often used combos, especially from people like myself, are going to be R&B shift, Q, and I'm going to be autoing during the whole time to be getting my reverberation proc. My goal to land the ground of the R&B. This ground landing should be pretty much illegal. If you look at the combo right here, it's going to be about 1.5 seconds before it even returns to me when the ground comes off. But people just simply aren't shifting this. Watch. Right there, 1.4 seconds before the ground even comes back. That means you have 1.4 seconds, not even counting the initial shift forward and cast time with the R&B to be able to dodge it. Basically, what I'm saying is you can't be getting hit by this ground and being expecting to live. Obviously, it does a ridiculous amount of damage if you do land it, but it's setting up pretty much my entire kit. I'm dumping everything there. I'm shifting forward. I'm likely shifting backwards to be a little bit more safe as well. I'm using my Q and my R&B. This means that the only cooldown left in my arsenal when I do this combo is going to be my ult. So all you have to do, step 1, dodge this R&B. If you see a Christa using R&B, just dodge the second part of it so you don't get grounded. Now you know that the Christa is going to be blowing most of her cooldowns on that initial engage because she's going to be on cooldown, so you can start playing in her face and potentially force her ultimate. Look at my cooldown bar right now. If I don't land any of my reverberation, I have a 6-second cooldown on my R&B, I have a 10-second cooldown on my Q, and I only have 1 dash charge, which at the moment I could only reset if I use my ult. What does that mean? It means you just need to dodge the initial combo if the Christas keep going for this combo, which if you look at my games, I keep landing because people just don't shift out of it. You need to put heavy prio into shifting out of Christa's initial combo and then pressuring her from that point. Now, obviously, another frustration point with Christa is going to be her ultimate, but that's another ability I feel like is pretty dodgeable as well. So obviously, if you land the initial ground from this, many Christas will fire off ult from this, and it's pretty easy to land from there, and then they'll combo it with some shifts shenanigans right there. But we already talked about the fact that you shouldn't be getting hit by the ground unless they're bouncing it off of a wall, as it's pretty reactive. You have at least 1.5 seconds to shift out of it. That should be pretty simple to look out for. Much like you try to shift out of a Kingpin's hook, you should be thinking of a Christa's R&B with the same threat priority. Now, our ult itself has some pretty decent counterplay to it, I would say. So the ult has a restricted turn radius. As you can see here, as I'm ulting and trying to turn it around my body, I can't go that fast. This means I'm not going to be able to track people who are dashing away from my ultimate during the initial cast. And then you have so much time to be able to shift out of its range. And then once you get to either max range or you dash super close to me, I'm not going to be able to follow you with that ultimate, which means I'm not going to be landing it, which means I'm not getting these shift resets. What does that mean for you? Counterplay to Christa's ultimate looks like this. Either the second you hear it, you just shift super far back and then stop her from being able to get a bunch of hits off. You start jiggling left and right, so that way you can dodge the ultimates like that. Or you can actually dash through her or end up jump padding so that you can get around all of her abilities. And then she won't be able to track. This means she's not going to be getting damage off on you. She's going to be blowing her big cooldowns. She's not going to have shift resets. And she's not really going to be able to do much from that point. Once people start learning to dodge these, you're going to have a much easier time playing against the Christa. So we talked a little bit about Christa's basic combo game plan. Let's talk about how Christas want to play inside of the game itself. What you'll notice me doing a lot is going melee range to land my abilities against other players. This is because my abilities actually have a very long travel time, including my ultimate. What this means is you can actually punish me by using things such as stuns or certain powers in order to stop me from using my abilities. If you stun my ultimate, I no longer have the ability to use it as it has such a long cast time, and then you cancel that channel and then it's just completely gone. If you stun me as I dash into your face, I'm not gonna be able to dash backward. I'm a super squishy mage and I'll die. Now, obviously, you'd have to be a character with a stun for that, but you can also dump extremely high damaging abilities knowing that I'm going for these extremely telegraphed combos. What does this mean for you, the player? Make sure you notice how the Christa is positioning when they are going for these combos and you punish them accordingly. If it's someone like me that is playing in your face and abusing the shift presets, if you start dodging my abilities, as we mentioned before, I'm gonna have less of those shifts to be able to get away from you, and you can punish me much more easily with things like bungee shot, with things like stuns and oathbreaker ults. There's a lot more counterplay there if you just start dodging the abilities and putting more prio upon not getting hit. And as we showed before, it's actually pretty easy to dodge these abilities. I don't get hit by other Christas. When you watch my stream, you're going to notice that I don't get hit by anything. Even from Fog of War, I don't get hit by the R&Bs. I sidestep the ultimates. I maybe get hit by the Q because the thing is absolutely huge and a little bit ridiculous on the travel speed. But for the most part, I'm not getting comboed by these Christas unless I'm in the middle of a fight and I get third partied. You need to put more prio on dodging these skills. Remember, Christa's basic game plan involves her dumping her entire kit on top of you. And if you can dodge that initial cast, you're in a pretty good spot to punish her and win the fight from there. It's the reason why I never lose to any Christa inside of the game. And it's the reason why I think Christa's not as OP as people are saying, despite the fact that she does need nerf. If you like this kind of content, make sure to subscribe. I stream daily on Twitch at twitch.tv/Rhinne. Make sure to check that out. Today, I'm going to be doing an educational stream where I explain my gameplay process step by step. Should be pretty interesting for you all to watch, and I'll see you all next time.